Hi, my name is Miguel Ramos, wall educator, and today I'm going to show you how to make this guy look like a real gentleman. All right. So today we're going to make my friend Kyle here look like a real gentleman. And the first thing that I'm wanting to do, because as you notice, his hair is a little messy. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of wet it down a little bit and actually comb it into the direction in which we will style it once the haircut is complete. That is going to give us a good idea on where to cut it on the sides, how high up to take the fade. And what we're going to do here is we need to debulk the hair on the side of the head. We're going to give Kyle a nice bald fade, but we need to debulk this hair here on the side of the head first. So with my number 1 guard on, my wall magic clips, I am going to have my taper lever closed, and we are going to begin to cut. So as I'm going up, I have my clipper, the teeth to the front of my blade, kind of digging into the scalp a little bit, and as I get up to the area where I want that hair to blend, I am going to bring the hair out bring the blade out gradually into that hair so that we can almost blend that hair in right away. So again, down below, kind of digging the teeth in. As I go up, I C-scoop gradually backwards and then kind of go up toward the ceiling with the teeth on the guard. If you have any comments or any questions, go ahead and feel free to ask below. I'm going to be here to answer all your questions throughout this video. I know some of the older technology of some of the older batteries and cordless clippers, you could overcharge the batteries and the tool pretty much will not function throughout the life of the tool because the battery goes bad. That is not the case with the lithium-ion battery. So next, all we have to do with this right in here is just a little clipper over comb. So I'm going to put my comb up into the hair. We're going to bend the comb backwards, angle it back, and just go right across the blade with my teeth at a 45-degree angle. So when I say 45-degree angle, this is what I mean. About right there. About that angle right there. So I like to angle my blade across the comb right in here because we're doing two things. We're removing hair and it's texturizing at the same time. Now right in here where you can see this darker shadow right here, we're going to put our comb in a little flat right here. And since I want to get closer to the scalp, this is where I'm actually going to lay my teeth flat against the comb so that I can get closer to the scalp to blend that out. When I was cutting in the longer hair up above, that's when I was angling my blade across the comb. But down below here is where I'm going to lay my comb flat and clipper over comb that away. That's just a habit that I have for myself. I always recomb the hair and then I make my cuts. I'm going to use put my one back on and I have it all the way open this time. And now we're just going to go right up into this right here, maybe about a ½ inch in, going through that area and making sure that we do not put another line into the hair up here. So as I'm going through, you kind of C-scoop outwards a little bit. All right, so now we're going to be ready to use my cordless detailers LI, which stands for lithium ion. The cordless detailers LI have a 100-minute runtime. So what you're going to notice here, once I give myself my little bit of a guideline, you can kind of see where I'm doing that here. Once I have that guideline, Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna soften that line up. I'm gonna blend that line out a little bit more now. So at first I had the teeth really digging into the scalp just to make sure that I was really removing that hair all the way away. So we're just grazing that hair away right above the line just to soften it up, just so that it makes it easier to get the line out later on when I come back through with my cordless wall magic clips. You want to really kind of dig down in there, almost with the teeth pointing toward the scalp at about a 45-degree angle. And that's gonna make it so much more possible for you to get closer when using the 16th guard or your half guard. So try not to lay it so flat like that. You really want to dig down in there. Okay, so I have my taper lever closed and I can see right here some little shadowy areas. So now I'm gonna just open it up a little bit. And now I'm gonna lay it flat. I'm not gonna dig so much down into it now because all this was done with a 1, and I don't wanna turn the stuff that's supposed to be a 1 into a 16th. The 16th is here. This is a 1, but because there's some shadow areas in here, we wanna just kind of polish some of the stuff up with the 16th without going too down deeply into the area where the 1 is, possibly create more lines of demarcation. So we're just gonna kind of use the corner of the blade, grazing that hair, not leading and not digging in with the teeth, but just grazing the outer layer, the very ends of the hair. So now just at the very bottom, we're just gonna close the magic clip and we're just gonna use the corner of that blade and just kind of go in there and just really clean that up down at the bottom. Any little spots that I see that are a little bit darker, we're just gonna go right and kind of just attack each of those individual spots, erasing them and blending the hair together. So I'm gonna turn them toward the mirror and I'll use my mirror to double check to see if I have any shadows or any dark spots that I need to work on to make sure that my blend is complete. Another thing, actually, here's a cool little trick you can do too. Sometimes if you're unsure of a haircut and you think it's good, but you still kind of have some second thoughts about maybe some areas that you may need to blend a little bit better, what you can do is actually take a picture of the haircut. If you take a picture of the haircut and then look at the picture that you took, you're actually gonna see some things in the picture that you might have not have noticed. Right here, we're gonna kind of just comb this beard backwards right here. Same thing, we're gonna go ahead and create a nice little line, cut a nice line in, going straight down right here. And now I can get the actual clipper, and we're only gonna graze this at a 90-degree angle right at the top. Lay it flat right here, and you have a blend. I'm gonna take my 1.5 up, but I'm not gonna go all the way up to the line with it. So with my 1.5 on, I'm gonna start off with it open. We're gonna go ahead and remove this bolt. And as we're going up, notice I just take my blade straight up toward the ceiling. Right in this area is where the head starts around that way. So as long as I go straight up, we're gonna create a little bit of a blend. See how the hair is already blending right in here? That's what you want to be able to do. Next, we're gonna go back to our detailers. Again, for some of you who might have just tuned in, the Wall Detailer LI's lithium ion battery, 100-minute charged runtime. So you can use these for 100 minutes before you have to charge them again. But they do come with a nice docking station. So down below, you can tell the angle that I'm running my blade across the scalp is about a 45-degree angle. About that right there. Notice right there, 45-degree angle, okay? I'm creating a guideline. But we are going to soften up, we're gonna soften up this guideline by laying the blade flat and just going up and grazing over the top of the hair that is above that guideline. So you're going to notice the hair is going to start to actually kind of blend in. I just want to show you an experiment here. I want you to see what happens when we have it opened and we run this up after using the technique I just showed you. So it's opened all the way, nice and flat. Do you see the line that we're gonna have to get out? That line right there, that's a shadow, that's not even a line. We're not gonna have to put up a fight. We're not gonna have to battle this to get this faded. Because of the technique that I just showed you, is now gonna make your job so much easier to get that faint line out. So all I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna close it a little bit, halfway open, halfway closed. I'm gonna use the corner of my blade. We don't want the scalp to move. We want the scalp to stay still. Notice that? What's the scalp doing now? It's not moving. Why? Because I had my finger down below. So that's a cool little trick for you to take with you. If you have any questions about that, please comment below. I'd be glad to answer any questions that you have at this point. But using these techniques is going to make your job easier. This is a fade blade. Some clippers don't have a fade blade on them. You'll notice that some of the blades have them lines in it and they're thicker. Those are gonna be good for, off scalp cutting or just to remove hair and stuff when you have guards on. But when you're doing on scalp cutting, the fade blade on the wall magic clip is gonna be your best bet when trying to achieve blends like this. So next, what we're going to do is use our half guard, AKA our 16th. And I'm gonna start off with it open because we don't really have a line to get out. It's just more weight. We just wanna soften up this weight right in here. So I'm gonna start, and as I'm going up, I'm just grazing the hair. I'm not even going all the way down to the base of where that hair is growing out of the scalp. I'm just grazing over the top of it for right now. Because if I start by going all the way to the base of it, I may cut too much off. I may not need to. So all I'm doing is laying the blade flat on the head and just grazing the hair above it. So I hope you guys are liking what I've showed you so far. If you have any questions, please comment below. I'm going to be on during this video and I'll be glad to help you out. So now we're gonna close it and we're gonna do the exact same thing. Just graze the hair. I'm not going all the way down and really digging the teeth in. I'm just grazing the hair above it. Okay, so we have a nice blend there. I know a lot of people have trouble with trying to blend a beard into a bald fade. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn the blade around and we're just gonna kind of, first, before I start, just pay attention. Look how dark that is. From so light to just dark. How do you blend that out? It's real simple. We're gonna touch the head right here with this blade. Apply a little bit of pressure on the top part, but as you're going down, relieve that pressure and just feather right down into that beard, just like that. So now we're gonna do the hard part. What I'm gonna do is comb the hair over nice and tight, hold the hair right there, and just my first line is gonna be nice and thin. Keep it nice and thin. That way you have room to make it thicker and it gives you room for mistake. Start off with it nice and thin, okay? So it's nice and thin, you can see it there. That's the top part of the line. So when you're doing a hard part, there's actually two lines involved. I'll explain that here in a second. But right now we're creating the top line, okay? So now let's create the bottom line on it. And what I mean by two lines, so you got the line right up in here on the top, And now you have the line here at the bottom. So I place the trimmer on the first line we made, and then I just kind of push it downwards. Nice and tight against the scalp. Okay, so now we're gonna fade the back of the hair. Start off by debulking it using our one closed. So as we go up, I can see here how high I took my blend up. So that gives me an idea of where to bring the blend up here. I always like to have it drop down in the back a little bit though, because it helps just in case I go too high on the fade. Or actually, I like to have it drop down to guarantee that I do not go too high on the fade. So you see the weight line right in here now. We're gonna use our 1.5 guard to go ahead and remove all that. So with it all the way open, we're gonna go in at the base where it's growing out of the scalp. And then once we get so high, graze out and over the hair above it. So down here, I'm down at the bottom at the base, and then I kind of just bring it out and graze up over the hair above it. Since the blend is kind of going like this, here at the bottom, my blade is going upwards. Here on the side, it's going that way, and over here, it will be coming up this way like this. So you always want to make sure that your blade is following the contour of the fade. Now we're going to use our detailer. So here you can tell where we brought it up to right here. So now we know where to bring it up to. Right there. Create our guy line on the back of the head. And this is also going to be rounded. Like I mentioned earlier, it's better to have it dropping down in the back because it keeps you in a safe zone. And personally for me, I kind of just like to drop the fade a little bit anyways. I think it looks good like that. Okay, yep, what we're gonna do is we're gonna soften that up now. So put the blade back on there and graze over the area above where that line was at, just to soften up that line a little bit. Now, wall magic clips, taper lever all the way opened. Remember the angle, see the angle. Now we have our 16th on, AKA half guard, closed. Now we're gonna go ahead and graze right above the area where we just ran our no guard opened. So we're gonna put our one on. We're gonna start with it open. And actually, I'm gonna do some raking this time. Should be able to see. I want you to be able to see what I'm doing here. So at a 90-degree angle, we're gonna rake. So starting off at a 90, and now I'm noticing I'm gonna have to bring it down anywhere from a 45 to all the way flat. And what I'm gonna do, actually, put my 16th back on and just run that right through here. So all the way closed, pull up on the skin to stretch a little bit, because now we're only gonna go for a couple spots. We're gonna attack a couple of the spots, erase those darker areas and lines. I wouldn't really call them lines, just more like lines of demarcation, little shadows and stuff. One of the things that I like to do though, is I just really like to use the corner of my blade a lot, because your corner of the blade can get down in areas, whereas if you try to hold the whole blade flat, you're not going to be able to get down into a dip like that's right next to a bone. So I'm going to show you exactly how to blend the side of this in and make it real easy. So what we have to do is create layers. Yes, layers. Even though this is a man's cut, we have to do layers, everybody. So look, what we're gonna do, we're gonna put our comb in right here first, bring this hair out right there, go straight across. So we're gonna go across, lift that hair up, same thing, go all the way higher up, and one more time, I'll comb it down, and let's see what it looks like. Okay, we can see that it's blending in, but we have a little bit more to do. Let's do it one more time. This time, we're gonna go in a little bit more, take a little bit more hair out. Go across, lift up, go all the way up. So as you can see, that's blended in better. We just need to blend this bottom part here in. So we're gonna bring our comb in, go up, 90-degree angle against the comb. You have to bring that hair out as well. And so that's why I said layers. You have to have layers to this, so that it all blends in nicely right there, so that you don't have that ledge. All I'm doing here though mainly is just blending the front of the hair in with the side of where this is gonna fall over once we style his hair. We like his front to be a little longer so that it lays nicely with the hair on the side when we comb it backwards. Just like that. So you can kind of see he's got a little nice curl going on right there. But you can see how all that feather's nicely going back. So once we style it, put a little bit of product in it, we're gonna have a nice fall. It's gonna lay nicely. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and take care of the beard, get it nice and groomed. The first thing that I like to do is just kind of comb through it. Let's go ahead and comb it out. That way we know it's not matted to the face. What I like to do is stand behind my client so that I can look down and see what hairs are sticking out. I'm gonna bring my taper lever down, and standing here, I can look right down and see exactly what I'm cutting away. And then you have kind of some of the stuff right here that just sticks out, so we're just going to kind of graze right over this. So we're just going to get it right off the lip. Now he can drink his coffee without his whiskers going down into his cup. Just line a few little hairs right here in the mustache. We want to keep it pretty natural, so we're not going to go too deep down into the mustache. And that's pretty much that. That's how you groom a beard. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and style his hair. I'm going to spray a little bit of water in it because I'm going to blow dry it. Spray a little bit of water first. I want the hair to kind of set the way I want it to, so that's why I spray a little bit of water in it. Now, I know some people like to use a roll brush. I'm actually going to use a comb because what I'm going to do with my comb is I'm going to stretch his hair is a little curly, so I'm going to use the comb to stretch the hair out straight, and as I'm hitting it with the blow dryer, that's going to get rid of some of those curls. Okay. Gonna go ahead and use a little bit of our Wall 1919 pomade. Good product there. And now, what I like to do is I like to really pinch it in and make sure I got it in there nicely. I've noticed that some of my clients, I've watched them put product in their hair and they just kind of put it on the top of their hair. Like, no, you have to put it throughout the hair so that you can get it to really get down in there and hold the way you want rather than just the top layer of your hair. So now, let's go ahead and use this really cool styling comb. I like it because the teeth are white on it. You can use this to give it more of a natural look, almost as if he ran his fingers through his hair.